like most of you seem to have gotten the answer. So 70 degrees. Don't forget the unit. 100. Sorry, not 70. 100, then 70. Sorry. Can you all please circle both and not just circle one? When you are doing questions like this, please don't make assumptions and read the question in full. If you read all the way until the end, they will tell you, circle the words that describe BHF in the statement. BHF is or is not a straight line. So what does that suggest? It suggests that when you look at this line, can you assume that this is a straight line? Obviously not. If not, the part C of the question makes no logical sense, right? Agree? So read the question in full. Don't just read one part and then answer one part and then you go until the end and you realize that you made a wrong assumption at the front. Now, how do we find angle W here? Angle W for 1 mark is very straightforward. This is a what? These are identical parallelograms. So one common pet peeve of mine that if you're my student, you know I always go you for angle questions. What is it? When you all do angle questions, you all don't like to label the parallel lines. You are always expected to label the parallel lines. When they tell you that you have a parallelogram, you go and label them. So when you identify the parallel sides, what will you see now? This is what rule? This is your interior angles, or C rule. Right? And therefore, angle W is just equal to 180 minus away the 80 to get 100 degrees. I will write C rule here in your exam. Please don't write C rule. If you want to write, you have to write the proper reason. C rule is not the proper reason. Common mistake that students make, right? What's the common mistake that students make? You assume that BHF is a straight line, and then you tell me that this is 90 degree, and then you take 180 minus 90 minus 25, and then you get the wrong answer. All right, the fact that part C of the question asks you whether or not there's a straight line suggests to you that you are not allowed to touch that line to go and find. Okay, so what are we supposed to use to find angle Y? They gave you this angle for a reason, right? So what do they actually expect? They expect you to use sum of angles at a point. So you are expected to go and find all these other angles. So you know that this angle is 100 degrees because diagonally opposite angles in the parallelogram are equal. Okay, then you can go ahead and find this angle over here, this angle BCH. The other thing that annoys me is when students don't label the angle that they are finding. And I still see that happen a lot. Don't make your examiners annoyed. Make sure you label everything that you're finding. So angle BCH here is 180 degrees minus 90 degree minus 23 degrees because that is a triangle. So you are 67 degrees. So label the 67 degrees into the diagram. Then you can find this angle BCD. Angle BCD is just 180 degrees minus 80 degrees to give you 100 degrees because, again, interior angles. So this is where the labeling of the second pair of parallel lines is also important. You need to be able to see this pair of interior angles. And then the 23 is given. And so now you can find angle Y. Angle Y is equal to 360 degrees minus 100 degrees minus 100 degrees minus 67 degrees minus 23 degrees. And that's why you get back 100 degrees. Not 100 degrees, you get back 70 degrees. My math is not mathing today. So you can only use sum of angles at the sum of angles at the point here. So now we come to part C. We have found that angle Y is 70 degrees. So the question here is this a straight line? If the assumption is that this is a straight line, then this must also be what? This must also be 90 degree, right? But now we can actually directly find angle CHF. So based on angle Y, angle CHF is equal to 180 degrees minus your angle Y, which is 70 degrees, then minus away the 25 degrees, right? And you will find the angle CHF is only 85 degrees. So angle BHF plus CHF is only 90 degrees plus 85 degrees to give me 175 degrees. Right? And that's why it is not a straight. So that is what the question requires you to resolve. You cannot make use of BHF, assume that it's a straight line, and tell me the angle FHC is a right angle. Because then part C of the question no longer makes sense. So always make sure you process the question in full, even though you are solving it part by part.